Huge performance from City, but the important thing, Andy, was getting there.
And it is, and it's been, there's been a few occasions this season where it's been a little bit flat like that, and the players have got to manage that period of 10-15 minutes at the start of the second half slightly better. It's 3 points. It looked a little bit tired, jaded. A lot of players travelling a lot this week. Great credit for the 3 points, but we need to be better than what we were today, Ali. We're going to go on and kick on and defend this title that we hold at the moment.
Well, two excellent first half goals seem to have given City control. Alvarez and Haaland, I guess you would have predicted that they would have been the scorers. It was a very different second half. Brighton had 2 or 3 really good opportunities. Ansu Fati took one of them, and then Akanji was sent off for a second bookable offence. The Blues dug in. They found a way to get over the line, and after a run of 2 defeats, they're back into winning ways and top of the Premier League table. The final score, City 2, Brighton 1. Well, let's go back to the studio and join Dakota, Steve, Paul and Cel.
Full time at the Etihad Stadium, and it has finished Manchester City 2, Brighton 1. A few bits and bobs of action to get into in that second half, which I'm going to do with my guests who've been with us all day. Thank you so much for joining us at home. Paul, we went in at half-time 2-0, all very happy and comfortable here in the studio. By the end of that second half, probably not quite as comfortable as the end of the first half.
No, it wasn't, but wondering what Brighton were going to do at half-time. Took James Milner off, made the change. And we're still quite comfortable for 10-15 minutes the second half, but then the game gets so open. Andy said a few times in commentary it was like a basketball game. And Brighton, you've got to credit where credit's due. They're a good team. They're brave on the ball and they can cause you problems. And in Matoma, he's a game changer, for them as well. And then I've never seen MD sort of twist Kyle up the way he did. Could have had a couple of goals himself. Then they got the goal to get back in it. Then we regained possession again. Then they send it off and put pressure on us again. But look, the main thing is getting the 3 points and back to the top of the league.
Back to the top of the league indeed, Steve. What was it that shifted, do you think, in that second half? Did City kind of let up a little bit, or did Brighton turn it on? Where did you kind of see where it kind of shifted in that second half?
I think the start of the second half, it looked as though neither team were pushing and sort of wanting to make a stamp of authority on the game. Then Brighton had a spell, and they had a decent spell, to be quite honest, and they looked dangerous. As Dickie said, Matoma, he is a game changer. He's had 2 big chances. One of them, somebody of his calibre, you would expect him just to dink it over the goalkeeper, but he doesn't. And then the header, you look at that one, he probably should. So the warning signs were there. Really, for City, there was, I would say, the only one I can remember is Haaland when he gets it on his left foot and whips it, and the goalkeeper, to be fair to him, makes a very, very good save. But listen, they get the goal. It's a bit nervy. There's the sending off as well. Sometimes in a team that wins the Premier League, you're not going to win all the time easily, or at a canter. Sometimes it has to be ugly, sometimes it has to be hard, sometimes it's a graft, you've got to dig in, and that's what they did, and they got the points.
We got the points, which made it 21 wins in a row at home, which is quite the feat. In fact, I think it might even be a record, just waiting for confirmation on that. But it just goes to show how strong we are at home, and obviously we've had a lot of away games, so it's been helpful to get us back onto winning track.
Yeah, definitely a good positive now, back to winning ways. I think everyone will be quite happy, all the fans and everything, but I just think we're unbeatable at home. Even last season, everyone struggled to beat us at home. We're ourselves here, I think, and that's where they play the best of boys. So
delighted, absolutely. I can say that is a Premier League record for a Premier League team to do 21 consecutive wins. That is a record for a Premier League team. Brilliant stuff. Let's get into all the moments then of that second half, beginning probably with the goal. Just before that, I mean, it was Alvarez. The keeper had come out, and then he had the shot not quite strong enough to go hit the back of the net, and then a break and score for Brighton.
It was, and they're very good at it. Pep said in his interview before the game that they make the pitch so big, which can create spaces, especially in front of our back four. And a couple of times just before it, Steve, the third man running going in was free, wasn't he? To go through, and then the ball goes wide. Matoma, just speaking about him here, and then it comes across. Akanji's he's unlucky and he's stretching, going to clear it, and he just can't get there, and it's come on and Fatty's put the ball in the back of the net.
Are we asking questions? Do you think the defence will be looking at that going, they could have done better? Could City have done better in defending that, Steve?
Well, as I said, it's difficult because they make the pitch so big. You don't want to be a defender that's pretty much classed as no man's land. You've got to pick a side. Are you going to tuck in with the central defender? Are you going to go out with the wide man? If you are in no man's land, then you are in no man's land, and it's a difficult one. But they did expose them gaps. As we said, I mean, I think Kyle Walker's a wonderful player, and I think even Kyle himself will think that he's had a difficult game today against the top player. So he twists Kyle a little bit, gets the ball across, and I think Akanji's not really set to clear it properly. I mean, I think he does well to stop it, but obviously it just goes straight to their player who sticks it in the back of the net.
Yeah, it was then when we could feel the shift here inside the stadium. What were you feeling at that point, Dakota, when they scored that goal? Were you worried, or did you still have confidence in the boys?
Well, we all guessed 3-1, didn't we? So I said this is where our 3-1's going to be
so
correct.
True.
We didn't get that last goal, but it was close, you know. We kept it together at the end, which is, under pressure we work well.
Yeah.
I've always said that about City. There's not much we can't deal with, so they did really well there to see the game out and come out with the win.
Yeah, they were really resilient, and I guess it's good for us as well to go through that. You know, sometimes, as you say, the names aren't going to be always the same.
No.
We did feel, though, there was kind of that Brighton pressure, a little bit more possession we'd maybe started the game with. And then let's talk about the sending off. Well, first of all, actually, we want to talk about the injury there, which we really hope isn't too severe. He's stretched it off, but of course we're sending all our well wishes and hopefully for a speedy recovery there. But then it was an Akanji sending off, a second yellow. Paul, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, it was two soft yellow cards, but you can't. You know, they are yellow cards now. You know, whether you like it or not. If the referee is going to go to the exact laws of the game, you know, as he's tugged him back, he's got the wrong side in the first place. You know, he's an experienced defender and he's just been rolled in, and he has pulled him back. And once you're on a yellow card, you can't do that, unfortunately.
Yeah. You could kind of actually see even from when he was walking off, I think he looked up to watch, and there wasn't much of an argument really. It's difficult, isn't it, because the rules are changing for fans. It is a little bit difficult to keep up. Would you say, Dakota?
Yeah, it is, and I feel like this football's getting softer.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah.
I'm not going to disagree with you, to be quite honest.
I do think it gets a bit soft sometimes, but it's football and there is rules, so you can't argue with it, can you?
No, you can't indeed. So the sending off, and we were all here in the studio a little bit nervous, but they weathered the storm and the two free kicks and saw out for the victory, Steve.
Yeah, I mean the last free kick, I mean we're fortunate enough to have a replay and Foden wins the ball. So if anything had come of that, you can imagine there wouldn't have been it wouldn't have been great for the referees again. You can clearly see he wins the ball, to be quite honest, but the goalkeeper does fantastic. Obviously shouted nice and early, claimed it, took the pressure clean off, and the referee blows his whistle. But yeah, just getting back to the referee and again the Rodri booking, you know the rules. You know, the referees aren't going to let you get away with that. So of course, yes, he's going to book Rodri, and with the sending off, as it has been said, he gets the wrong side. You know, just sometimes you can't win every ball. Sometimes you've just got to let them have it and just defend that way.
Yeah. Man of the match in the stadium was a player that had been your standout so far, and you were spot on in Doku, and well deserved, wasn't he? He was dynamite today.
Yeah, he was. I was gutted he didn't get a goal.
Deserved one, I think.
Yeah, he really did, and he had a few chances that he didn't really pull off, but he's playing so well every game. I'm sure he'll get one soon, and just needs to keep going the way he's going. It
does feel like, you know, he's still so young, Paul. And I mean, it's a position you know well, but it does feel like, especially if maybe, you know, a little bit more on target with the shots, we could have an unbelievable player there.
I think he's settled in better than what anybody would have expected. You said he's a young boy, not been used to his style of play. Came from mid-table in France. You know, usually when we sign players, they're playing at a top level, whatever country they're in. So I'm pleasantly surprised how he's settled in. You know, he looks a threat every time he gets it. As I said, the first half, you know, I felt sorry, but joked after, I felt sorry for James Milner, you know, because then you see times, a little bit of naivety sometimes in the second half, you know, when I think what Pep will be putting into him is that he can't beat his man every time he gets the ball. You know, sometimes you see when Jack came on, just slow the game down when you're under pressure, keep the ball. and that's what Pep wants to do. But he's been super impressive since he came in for somebody so young.
Just quickly as well, I have to mention someone else. I just think, because it looks like he's been playing for us all his career, well, for the last 3-4 years, is Guardiola. And I mean, John Stones thought could have been in contention man of the match. I think so could Guardiola today. I think he just was brilliant and was unlucky, I think, not to. He should have just gone on and taken a shot towards the end.
I mean, it was a fabulous run, and I mean, I think you shouted, "Go on," because he should have just went himself. But so dependable, strong, difficult to beat. He's aggressive. Every trademark you want in a defender, but he's got that bit about him as well, where he's a player. He can play.
Yeah.
So for me, I think he was up there and certainly pushing Doku for man of the match.
Couldn't agree more. Right, let's then turn our attentions to next up for Manchester City, Champions League nights here at the Etihad Stadium. We take on Young Boys. Obviously, probably not one of the teams that we thought maybe Dakota were one of our biggest challenges, but we know it's no game's easy in the Champions League. It should be another good fixture.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want to, overlook anyone, do we? We want to stay on form and make sure we're 100% for them. So just hope they keep the winning ways up now. That's it.
Well, that's the momentum. The momentum's key, isn't it? Especially in these group stages now, away and then at home. So we just want to make sure that we carry on.
And with all the games we've got as well, Kel, I think Pep said it last season. He wanted to try and qualify at the top of the group as quick as he could.
Yeah.
So after Christmas, February time. They can afford to maybe rest one or two players in the latter stages of the group stages, if that makes any sense. So we want to get another 3 points on board, get to the top of that group as quick as we can, and then rest a few in the last few games.
I guess as well, because as we know, we've not had a fully fit squad, bar De Bruyne. That has happened now, but getting those minutes in, as Paul said there, Steve, is going to be key now for us as we know, once we get into winter. It's games every 3 days, it's thick and fast, and we're going to need everyone.
Oh, absolutely, and I think, for teams, the strength and depth of your squads is huge. I mean, obviously, everybody agrees that Manchester City's squad strength is superb, and the manager's going to have to use them. And again, John Stones got some minutes in. I thought, again, he was superb. But I think that you'd said at half-time, he's just come back from a long injury, then he's played some international minutes as well. Played really well today, and I think it's good for him, for the manager to take him off at that particular point, because we're going to need likes of him, well, pretty much everybody, because the games are coming thick and fast.
Ortega, do you think he keeps his place, Dakota, do you think, for the middle of the week?
I thought he did really well today, yeah. I was really impressed with him, yeah. I mean, less stressful than Edison, but...
Yeah.
I love Edison, so still our number one, isn't he? But yeah, I thought he did really well today. Yeah,
it was great to see him in that starting 11. We'll see, of course, if he keeps his place. If you join us for Matchday Live, we're live before every game of the season. Dakota, as we're looking ahead as well, next up for you is the big fight, 8th of December.
Yeah.
So I'm just interested to know, so what will now preparation look like for you? What's the plan, and what will that be like?
So I head back to America, because I train in the States now when I'm fighting. So I head back to America tomorrow.
Yep.
And then I'll be there for around 5 weeks. I'll come home for a week before I go to Dublin to do the fight then.
To hopefully be to getting that all important win. And how are you feeling? You feeling ready for it? I mean, of course, but nervous, excited, yeah? Or...
No, I'm excited. I'm not nervous yet, but I will be when I get closer to it. But yeah, I feel like I'm ready already. Because I've been in a tournament, I've had to stay ready. So I just feel like I'm ready to go now.
Is that why it's also? Is it quite different almost doing a tournament, because you've got those run of fights?
Yeah, typically you only fight like 2-3 times a year if you just take normal fights, but this has been like a guaranteed 3-4 fights in the tournament, so it's like I've had to stay in shape and stay busy. Well,
listen, you should know that we're with you every step of the way, and please come back on the show as well, and we'll all be rooting for you. Paul, I know you're a fan as well, and
huge fan.
I think odds would say we've got the winner here right next.
Absolute superstar, honestly.
Yeah, he showed me a video this morning. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
The first thing he said when I come in, I was like, oh, hi to you too.
Everyone's been on the best behaviour while you've been around. No messing around. But no, honestly, it's an incredible achievement. So a massive congratulations already. And
thank you.
We'll all be rooting for you, as I say. I also just wanted to take a moment to talk about City in the community. Paul, I know that's a project that you know well. It's almost like one of the key foundations of Manchester City. The money raised goes right back into the community. They do work all over. It really is important what they do, and great what they do as well.
It is. It's huge. And we're a community-based club. Always have been. Always will be. And the work that I know Alex is retired now. Alex William and the team have done there. Mike Geary, who's now the CEO, is sitting in the community. Not just turning around the stadium, all over Greater Manchester and the schools. It's amazing what they do abroad. You know, we've obviously got the City Football Group, all these places we go abroad, and City in the community is a massive part of the club, and what they do for everybody else is sensational.
We couldn't ask you to support it enough. We do every season. You really do get behind it, and you can do the same as well, because there's a brand new prize draw that's going to be happening every month. Anyone can enter. It's £5 to get your ticket, and if your ticket gets drawn, you could be in with the chance of winning. What have I got here? Wow, a shirt signed by Erling Haaland, £2,500. There's 5 chances to win £100, so all just for that £5 entry. If you just go to mancity.com, you'll be able to find the draw on there, and as I say, that money goes a long way in helping them with their brilliant and crucial work around communities. Final word then from everyone here in the studio, I guess, is just for us to have a lovely weekend, and as we know, some other big games to come. Very tight at the top though. There's been a lot of kind of noise going into that international break, but as you said, Paul, we're back at the top.
Back at the top of the league. You know, Arsenal and Tottenham have both got tough games now. It sounds early in the season to say it, but you win before they play, it puts pressure on them straight away, regardless of what stage of the season, and that's what we've done. That's why we're champions. Well,
I've absolutely loved today, as always. It's been so great, and we got those all-important 3 points. Manchester City 2, Brighton 1. Massive thank you to my guests, to Paul, to Stephen, to Dakota, and of course thank you to you for watching. Please come join us. We'll be with you for the Young Boys game in the middle of the week, but until then, have a lovely evening and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
We know that when we play our best football, no one can beat us.
I like what I'm seeing from the players at the moment.
The WSL is the most competitive league in the world.
The players that we have, if we get close to the goal, then we've got a chance of scoring absolutely every single time.
It's more than just a game of football sometimes.
It's probably a lot of votes from my mum and dad.
We have a lot more games to come, so hopefully, you know, I could break that record.
Bunny shot! It had to be Bunny.
We have to show that nasty side where you have to be aggressive in your tackle.
And when we need to, we fight.
No matter what they come with, they ain't beating us.
The atmosphere and the culture that we have within the team is really, really special.
It's going to be one heck of a running, and City are very much in the thick of it.